Well, today we're going to add another product to your repertoire, and it is Easy Sell. An Easy Sell or it's Easy Buy. An Easy Buy and Easy Sell will both be rebranded under our Easy Solutions. So you could have a customer that wants to sell their house and just use our Easy Sell program. And you submit it and it goes in, it goes out to a dozen different investor groups and they make offers and your customer decides if any of the offers work for them. Camille, you did this on your personal home. Did it work out pretty good for you? Very well. Over the past 6 months, the other side of the transactions become more and more popular. The cashback offer programs, specifically programs like Knock and Ribbon, where your customer can make a guaranteed cash offer on a home, right? And many of you have used that. Who has used a cashback offer program? Okay, good. If you haven't, you probably want to have this in your repertoire and be able to speak to it because it's going to solve problems for you sometimes. Sometimes your customer, even in a shifting marketplace, your customer is going to pick a house and there's multiple offers on the house. And you want to shift your people from a finance contingency to a cash offer so that they can compete. That will always happen. Sometimes it's a form of bridge financing. It's buy before you sell your home. Anybody had a customer that I don't really want to put my house up for sale until I actually buy and move into the next house? Anybody had that? Yeah. Well, a couple problems. Number one, you can take your customer to Knock or Ribbon and the fees are high. The bigger problem though for us is, they're selling that customer's data. You know that, right? Lanier, where's Lanier? Do they sell the customer's data? Oh, they do sell the customer's data. And what's that mean? They want to make more money, just like everybody does, more money. So you take your customer to one of those two groups and they try to offer them a product and your customer may or may not be interested in one of their products. And then they take the customer's contact information and sell it to other real estate agents as leads. And now your customer's sitting at home getting calls from other real estate agents, getting calls from moving companies, from mortgage companies, from insurance agents, from anybody who will buy the leads. You took your customer to them in good faith, and now they're reselling the data. Why? Because what's actually better for one of those groups is your customer moves off of you to another agent, and that agent pays Knock or Ribbon 35% of their commission income. How you like that? No. Okay, well, we don't like it either. So Dwayne and I said, I think it's time to write another algorithm. So we did, and here's the problem. Oh, damn. Greg, what's the problem with Dwayne and I just sitting down and writing another algorithm for an Easy Buy program? Yeah, this is a mortgage application. This is a whole different game than selling your house. Now we got all kinds of privacy laws we have to deal with. So it shut us down for a little while. And then I'm going to introduce you to Liz in a second. And we partnered up with Liz and her team, and they've been able to solve this. So now internally, we're going to have an Easy Buy solution for you. You're going to hear about it today. And this is so if you have a home buyer and they need a cashback option program, or they at least want it as an option for them in case they get into a competitive situation. We want this house. Well, so do 20 other people. Well, we need to remove all of our contingencies so that we don't have to just continually bump the price up. We need to make our offer more competitive, right? Okay, good. We're going to have this. Some of them are going to want to buy a house. This would have been my wife. I'm not selling my house until we find the next house. Well, how are we going to do that? Well, we're going to have this. We're fortunate that we have great business partners. And when we choose business partners, we're not looking, and Greg, you're going to just have to close your ears for a second, okay? Look, there's a lot of good mortgage originators out there. There's a lot of them that can take a loan application and get it processed to closing, and they all have competitive rates and they all have a lot of programs available. It doesn't make Greg unique. And I'm sorry, but telling me that you provide great service just gets a yawn out of me. You do provide great service or we won't be working together. That's not a feature. What's a feature? Well, with our business partners, we're looking for the value add. We're looking for, so Greg, what can you do so when our agents walk outside this building, they are the most competitive agents in the marketplace, hands down, no doubt. Basically, they can go out there and kick everybody else's ass. That's the deal. So we're constantly, that's what we talk about. You can't control interest rates, and you can only do so good of a job. You do a fine job, Greg. Fine. Brett, is Brett here? Good. It's the last day of the month. He better not be here. You do great, but you can only do so good. So we bring Greg and Brett in on this and we say, look, we've got to come up with this easy buy solution because customers want it. Our agents need it. And that means the First Community's got to partner up with us and they've got to get a little bit flexible and creative. Okay, so they have. So I'm going to turn it over to Liz, but I do need you to keep this in mind. Easy Buy is a good product. Your customers want it, and it undercuts knock and ribbon in cost to your customer. And it's going to make you look good, okay? But it's only available if Greg's involved as the mortgage originator, because Greg helped partner with us on it to create this so that we don't pass any of the cost on to you. So like we do everything, it's no cost to you. Okay, but there's real world things from that. It costs money to develop, and Greg and his team and Brett. So does your customer have to be using First Community for their mortgage application? They do. If you don't want to do that, Easy Buy is not available to you. Sorry. But I have this great lender. Doesn't matter. They weren't here to help us create it. Greg's got to be involved in the mortgage process. If he's not, it's not available. Brett and his team at Luter Larkin, they have to do the closing. There's no alternative to this, okay? Those are the only two requirements. Otherwise, it's free to you and the cost to your customer is significantly below marketplace. Fair enough? Okay, I'll come back to you at the end for right now. Liz, I'm sorry I told you 5 minutes, but my whole group knows that really means 10. So I'm going to turn over to Liz. Liz is with Zavvi. And they've been a great partner with us in helping us build the total Easy Solutions product. So Liz, all you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, guys. Can everybody hear me well and see my screen this morning? Good deal. Thanks to Wayne. Awesome. Thank you so much for having me join you guys today. I'm super excited to be here and assist Mike and Dwayne in launching your Easy Buy program. Easy Buy, most simply said, is your new in-house power buyer program. This is yours. It is specific to Century 21 Connect. It is not ribbon. It is not knock. It is Century 21 Connect Easy Buy program. So you now officially have your own modern bridge and cash offer solution called Century 21 Connect Realty Easy Buy. I'm going to be walking through how this program works, how you're going to use Easy Buy and the Easy Solutions platform to leverage both Easy Buy and Easy Sell. And so Mike went into a few details about who makes up the Easy Buy team. It is a partnership between Zavvi, that's who I work with, and Century 21 Connect Realty, and of course, Greg and the First Community Mortgage team, and Brett, Luter Larkin and Hunter Title team. We have done a lot of groundwork to make sure all parties on this screen, specifically First Community Mortgage, Brett and his team, and the Century 21 Connect leadership team is brought up to speed on the Easy Buy program so that it is a super seamless process for you. Of course, you're the star of the show. You're here using your own in-house Easy Buy program to make sure that your clients have a good experience from start to finish and that you remain in the center of that transaction. And at the end of the day, you have happy clients. So this is quite possibly the most high-level view of how a power buyer program works. I know you guys are probably familiar with it, but I want you to, throughout today's training, see how having your own Easy Buy program, your own power buyer program, gives you the upper hand and the competitive advantage. And there's a lot of benefits and use cases I'm going to be talking about today. The main thing I want you to think about is it doesn't matter the market condition, there's always a need for a cash offer. Cash is king. So that is my phrase of the day. As I go into the selling points of this program, what's in it for you, what's in it for the client. Cash is king is the name of the game. You're probably familiar with power buyer programs. So forgive me if you know how they work, but this is your program and I want you to have a full understanding at the end of this training on how the program works. So this is a very simple version. Clients are going to use Easy Buy Cash to get under contract. And once they close, they're going to be able to move in right away. If they actually have a former home to sell, that means they can even buy before they sell, reducing that stress of having to move twice. And also throughout this process, you guys are going to have the support of the Easy Buy team, that personnel from Zavvy, that is going to make sure that the client and you are guided through that transaction simply, easily, seamlessly, always there to support. And by using this program, I have tons of success stories. Easy Buy can actually save your client money. It's a true story. So I'll be talking through those shortly, but that's super simple. It's a either cash offer or buy before you sell modern bridge program. First, let's talk about what that cash offer program looks like. There's 5 basic steps to the program. The client gets pre-approved with the first community mortgage lender, and then they get pre-funded. What does pre-funded mean? That means they've made it through conditional underwriting and they've signed the Easy Buy client agreement. And then the client gets to go shop for homes with cash like they normally would, but they know they have that ACE card cashback offer in their back pocket. Their cashback offer gets accepted, and on closing day, the buyer closes with their financing and moves into the home. It's really pretty simple stuff. So that cash offer product is simply removing that financing contingency by leveraging the Easy Buy addendum. This offer addendum states that if the buyer is unable to secure financing on closing day, Easy Buy will step in and purchase the home on the buyer's behalf. So this is a cash-backed offer program. It is your cash offer program. It's going to enable your buyer to save on some closing costs and fees because they're closing with their financing on closing day. But if Easy Buy does need to step in and buy that home with cash, we are right there in the wings ready to make it happen. This is something listing agents in your community, because Ribbon's been there a long time, are very accustomed to. It is a good offer. They're going to tell that seller, oh yeah, this is a good one. Guaranteed close, removes the contingencies. Let's go for it. So this is now your Easy Buy cash offer program. Now let's talk about Modern Bridge. The only difference here, well, there's a couple differences. We're definitely buying the home, so it's a buy before you sell. But what makes someone cash offer versus Modern Bridge is the event that they have to sell their former residence to qualify for their new mortgage. So the process starts the same. Client gets pre-approved with that first community mortgage LO. They get pre-funded. They sign that Easy Buy client agreement. Their cash offer is accepted. So in this instance, Easy Buy is buying the home with Easy Buy cash. So Easy Buy closes with cash. The client actually gets to move into the new home, gives them time to sell their former home before they buy back their new home. So this is the buy before you sell Modern Bridge solution. So now we're going to get a little bit into the weeds about all the different use cases. So everyone needs a cash offer, right? Cash is king. Clients that want to be positioned to pay less is top of the list right now. I know, we're all accustomed to the market, and it could be different in your specific locales, but there was a point where cash offers were a necessity. If you wanted to win that house, people were paying above asking. There were multiple offers. You almost had to have a cash offer. Well, cash, this Easy Buy program is like a Swiss Army knife. Cash is king. Say the market flips a little, it becomes more of a buyer's market. It's then a financial tool. It's a negotiating tool. It actually lets those clients be positioned to pay less. I've actually been digging into some research here on this exact data point. And a lot of the power buyers in the space have been mentioning this academia study out of University of California, San Diego. Over the last 40 years, buyers that pay with cash save on average up to 12% on the home. So even if it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5%, that's huge savings. So definitely for those clients that also want to be positioned to pay less, and also those clients that need to compete in a multiple offer market. So those clients that have maybe written offers and lost, their spirits are down, Easy Buy. There's also just nervous first-time home buyers that are like, I don't even think I can compete in the market. It's crazy out there. I'm reading the news. I hear horror stories from my friends. I don't have the money to compete and enter this market. So there's just people sitting on the sidelines. And with Easy Buy, you can unlock those people. And then there's a lot of folks that, like Mike was saying, the buy before you sell bridge, there's folks that are like, oh, I want to sell this home. I need a change, or I need the equity. I'm downsizing, I'm upsizing, I'm changing neighborhoods because I'm having kids, or my kids are in college. I'm downsizing. There's a lot of people sitting in that seat right now that are also just like, but I don't know when I'm going to find my next home. Well, you now have the tool to pick up the phone and say, hey, let's go shop for your new home with cash, and we'll worry about selling your old home later. That's a fun phone call to have. Also, guess what? Builders like cash too. Everybody likes cash. A lot of folks leverage power buyer programs for clients doing new builds. So a lot of opportunity. Cash is king. Everyone needs it. But most importantly, this is for those clients that want the power of an all cash offer to win their dream home. So let's go into those client benefits. There's a lot of benefits of using this program. We actually see that clients are 4 times more likely to get under contract using the Easy Buy program, using a cash offer program. And that is actually our internal data. So that means they're more likely to win their first choice home. And because it's cash, they could be positioned to pay less. Out of our deals that we've done alone, we see on average, the buyer saves 1.8% on the purchase price. But as the market starts to shift, we're also going into the winter market where list price, you could maybe save 1 to 2, but call it 1.8% on a $700,000 home. That's almost $13,000, guys. That's nothing to shake your head out. And because they're spending less time shopping, they're getting into their dream home right away. They're going to start capturing that market appreciation that's happening. Now, what's in it for you? Why would you want to promote this program? Why do you want to leverage Easy Buy? You're a modern agent. You're going to have a better win rate. I actually had an agent in a training recently. They've been live on a power buyer program for a while. Say, yeah, I just picked up one of my partner agents in the office. They had an open house. They were going out of town. I picked up the open house. And I was just talking about my cash offer program at the open house. It's just, small talk. And I picked up 3 new clients because they didn't know it existed. So definitely better win rate, more deal velocity. You're working smarter, not harder. And you're going to have a higher client satisfaction. We know it. We've done almost 300 power buyer deals at this point. We might have even crested that. Clients like power buyer deals. They like Easy Buy. They like the convenience. They like removing the stress factor. And we all know what happy clients lead to. They lead to more referrals. So now let's get into the numbers. What are the costs of the program? As Mike said, very competitively priced here, below retail power buyers in the space. So for your bridge power buyer program, meaning they have to sell their former home before they buy it back. That is the Modern Bridge program. The cost is 1.9% of the purchase price of the new home. And for cash offers, it's 1% of the purchase price for the new home. So there is a deferred occupancy cost in the event Easy Buy buys the home. So in Bridge, we're definitely buying the home. So there's definitely a deferred occupancy cost. Cash offer, goal is to get that client to close with their financing on closing day. But in the event we buy the home, we hold that home for a few days, there's the deferred occupancy cost. What the heck is deferred occupancy? It's simply, in layman's terms, the rent. It's our carryover costs, the costs we're accruing while we hold the home to give that client the flexibility to buy it back from us. So this is going to be based on the new home purchase price. The client is going to know exactly what that cost will be when they sign the client agreement. So there are no hidden, oh, on closing day, we tell you what you're going to be paying us to live in your new home. Everything is crystal clear and transparent. Also, I always get this question. Well, what if my client signed up to use the Bridge program, but they actually sold their former home before they closed, before they, found their new home and closed on their new home? Guess what? That reverts back to a cash offer, and it's just 1%. 1%, guys. That is, and I'm going to talk about how it can save you money here shortly, but 1% of the purchase price of the new home, the most competitive power buyer program, and it's yours. So let's talk about how you can actually save your client money by leveraging Easy Buy. Let's put ourselves in the client's shoes. So compared to the open market, as a client, I could potentially pay 1 to 2% less. According to academia, up to 12% less. You're also going to have that, I'm going to start capturing that appreciation right away when I move in, which could add potentially 1 to 2% additional equity. And then with cash offer, I deduct that 1% service fee. So I'm potentially looking at a 1 to 3% gain in cash and equity by using the Easy Buy cash offer program. I'm spending 1 to potentially save 2, 3 or more. Now with Bridge, I really like this one, guys. It's the same exact thing, except we want to factor in that me, the client, is going to, be able to move into my new home before listing and selling my former home. How does an empty home sell? It's empty. It can be staged properly. There's no push-pull of scheduling. There's a lot of benefits for a home to be empty while it's on the market. Potentially 1 to 4% higher offer on that beautifully staged home. We hear all the time that clients that use the Modern Bridge program, the biggest thing is, that was much less stressful than the traditional process. Reducing stress, though we can't really, put price on peace of mind and reduce stress, I think that's the priceless component. We're decoupling the transaction with the Modern Bridge program. You're getting to pick up the phone and say, hey, let's go shop for a home with cash and we'll worry about selling your home later. Like I've been through this before I knew power buyers existed. And I also, something that's not listed here, had stuff in storage for 6 months, had to move twice, then ended up moving out of state. So I had to pay movers to get my stuff out of 2 storage units in another state. So there's also that element of the Modern Bridge program that's not even captured in the savings. And it's only 1.9% cost of the program. So very basic math shows you that me as a client can potentially gain 1 to 6% in cash proceeds and equity by using Easy Buy. So everyone should use Easy Buy. Everyone should at least get pre-funded for Easy Buy if and when they need it. So let's talk about the basic requirements. And guys, don't worry, your First Community Mortgage team is brought up to speed on all of this. They know exactly who is eligible for the program. They're going to go about their way of saying, hey, not only are we going to get you pre-approved for traditional process, I don't need hardly anything more to get you pre-funded with Easy Buy. That means you can go write a cash offer if you need it. So the basic cash offer approval requirements are for conventional and VA loans. There's a 5% minimum down payment. Those clients do need to be TBD underwritten, conditional underwritten, and have a minimum 660 credit score. For VA buyers, we do want the option to go conventional if needed. And for cash offer, clients do need 2.5% liquid assets to participate in the program. So the buyer is going to pay a minimum earnest money deposit of 2.5%. And the cost, that 1% fee, will be allocated to Easy Buy at closing. Now for bridge, a couple subtle differences here. The first, the cost of bridge, as we know, goes up to 1.9%. Second, the modern bridge deposit increases from 2.5% to 7.5%. What makes the difference between cash and modern bridge means, again, that client has a former residence to sell to qualify for a new mortgage. How does that 7.5% deposit work? It's paid as money on the buyback transaction. It's paid as earnest money on the buyback transaction, which enables them to apply that fee directly to their funds required for closing. And again, that 1.9% cost of the program will be allocated to Easy Buy on the settlement statement. So the same day that Easy Buy goes under contract on that client's new home, a buyback contract is drawn up, and that's when the 7.5% earnest money deposit is due, is on the buyback contract when client buys the home back from Easy Buy. Then we'll be talking about that deferred occupancy cost. So for the modern bridge program, right, we're essentially renting the home back to the client. How this works is we're going to be collecting those separately prior to the first closing, and we're going to process a prorated refund after they buy it back. It is collected in 60-day increments. It's prorated on a 30-day month, and it accrues daily until the client buys back the home. So if the client buys back the home in 2 days and they've given us 60 days, we're going to issue a 58-day credit back to the client. The goal is to always have that client under contract, buying the home back within 60 days. So we really want to, there's some things, I'll talk through the process here, that you as agents can do to save your clients money. A couple of important additional approval notes. We do have a max purchase price up to $1.5 million. It's a very generous buy box. Again, we're partners here. So when in doubt, if there's ever a home that feels like, oh, I'm not sure if they meet the needs, when in doubt, submit that client. Let's get it over to our Easy Buy team, and we're going to do our best to work with you to get that client into their dream home. Unfortunately, due to the 90-day flip rule, we can't accommodate FHA loans at this time, but our product team is working very quickly on being able to accommodate FHA loans. And that former residence, the home in the modern bridge, if they're selling an equestrian or farm property, not eligible at this time. But again, when in doubt, we're friendly, we want to help you get deals done, submit the client to Easy Buy. We'll figure out the property details. One thing I will add there, the former residents can be out of state. Oftentimes you have clients moving into your market from out of state. Totally fine. We're just going to make sure that former residence meets our basic eligibility criteria. But if you have someone moving from out of state and their former residence is out of state, we can do it. All right, everyone hanging in there. We're going to dig into the process. Mike, Dwayne, anything we need to add before I dig deeper?
Let's pause for just a second.
Okay.
So more complex than most of the other stuff that we've launched. Okay. Lots of moving parts here, but we weren't going to do questions, but let's just do a couple minutes here. Any questions that are top of mind right now? Casey. Just ask me and I'll repeat it because I've got the microphone.
How does the appraisal process work with this cashback offer? What happens if the appraisal comes in under contract?
Could you hear that, Liz?
I cannot. I'll need your mic to help me.
That's fine. So what happened? How does the appraisal process work, and what happens if the appraisal comes in low?
Yes. So, and full transparency, I was prepared to not have deep dive questions. So I didn't bring Kim or Steve and my Power Buyer team. So I'm going to try to speak very fluently on the appraisal process as I can. So the appraisal process, the way I always word it, that makes the most sense to me, is treat appraisal like you always would. There's no appraisal contingency with Easy Buy, but we're going to work with the First Community Mortgage LO and see what kind of appraisal gap coverage the client has. But we always say this isn't monopoly money, guys. It is Easy Buy cash. So it doesn't mean that like we pre-fund you and go, woo, go write whatever crazy offer you want. If you guys have ever done a ribbon deal, you understand that they basically say, give me your property and I'm going to give you a max value that you can write on that property. And then you can pay a little extra and get an even higher value. We basically say, hey, we're friendly. We're all good business people here. We like to understand your appraisal gap coverage, but you as the agent, well, and obviously your First Community Mortgage lender is going to understand their appraisal gap coverage. And you want to coach that client to make the offer that they can accommodate. We're going to buy the home with cash, but that client is responsible for the appraisal gap coverage.
Okay, good. One thing I would note is, so the rent back terms are based on the value of the house, right?
Mm-hmm.
I have looked at different examples of what those rent back terms are, and I would hope that I never had to sell my previous home because it's pretty low. You can't rent houses for what they're renting them back to your customers for. It's way below cost. So your customers are going to be very happy with that. If you're sitting here wondering, well, there's no way she could give you an example because it would be based on the house. But of the examples I've seen, it's pretty damn good.
Mm-hmm.
Other questions? Yes, ma'am. Okay, so good question. The question, Liz, was on the bridge program, the buy before you sell, does the customer make both payments, the new house and the old house?
Yeah, so they're going to pay us that 60-day deferred occupancy cost. And then until they sell their home, they are still responsible for their current mortgage because we bought their new house. They're paying us just 2 months up front with the hopes that they sell their former home and buy it back before that 2-month period. So yes, there is the liquid needed to participate in the program while they also have their current residence that they're still paying the mortgage on.
So a lot of this is convenience. And I think that many of you know this, but I think those that don't will be shocked. Your customers are willing to pay for the convenience to get away from all the hassles. They are, and the price really isn't that high. I mean, the rent back is going to be pretty cheap, but can you think of situations where you have a customer and selling their house and then moving and coordinating all that? So we've got to close in the morning and buy in the afternoon. And what if it doesn't all just work perfectly and seamlessly? And I've got 3 or 4 kids at home and we're changing school districts and it goes on and on. Can you think of situations like that? Would those people be willing to pay a small fee to not have to deal with all that stress and anxiety? That's what you're talking about. Would this be a nice thing to have in your toolkit to talk to people about? Would it be nice if you had some of these slides that you could add to your listing and buyer presentation? We might be able to make that happen for you. So it's another talking point. And do you think that other agents that you might be competing with from other companies are going to be talking about this in their listing appointments? Now, they don't have it. Right. So whether your customers decide to use it or not, I don't always think is really the point. The point is, are you bringing solutions to the table for your customers to consider? Other questions? Yes, sir. Ma'am? I can't see that far back. I'm old. Help me. Liz, in the bridge scenario, how long do they have to sell their previous home?
Ideally 60 days. We're friendly. We don't put anyone out in the cold. We work with the agent and client all involved to make sure, the agent is taking the right steps to get that former home sold. So the goal is 60 days, but if it exceeds 60 days, we'll just collect another 60 days of deferred occupancy costs, the rent back, and then work together to make sure the right actions are being taken to get some movement on that former residence.
Okay, questions? Okay, back there in the back, is that Karina?
Under worst case scenario, what is the worst?
Okay, so somebody can't get their house sold, Liz, and it's just gone on and you've done 10 60-day extensions. What you gonna do?
What do again,
Right.
our team is friendly. I'm saying that because we're not the corporate retail power buyer. We're not case closed, you're out in the cold, deal's done. We work with everyone. We are a true partner in this. We've partnered with you guys because it's a partnership. It's not just, oh, you're coming to us to do business and you could go anywhere to do it. No, we actually hear the story. We actually had a police officer lost his job. Deal was about to fall apart. We held the home for another, I think it ended up being 70 days to give that officer a chance to get a new job so that he could get his mortgage in line to buy the home back. So when I say we're friendly and we're not trying to leave anyone, our goal is for us to level the playing field and get clients into homes. We don't like being landlords. We don't make, as Mike said, we don't make money while we hold that home. We don't charge an astronomical rent. We don't love being a landlord at all. Our goal is that client buys the home back as quickly as possible. So as long as everyone's playing friendly and trying to get movement on that former home, it's a fair game. I won't speak to exactly what's in the client agreement. Again, I don't have I work for the entire organization and can't speak to the nuances in the client agreement, but I will happily make sure you guys can review the client agreement. Your leadership team has reviewed the contracts and agreements. First Community Mortgage has. So friendly partnership here, guys. We just want clients to get into homes, but we also you don't want clients to take advantage of the program either. Then you're dealing with a client for, you want to sell that former residence, right? You want to get your commission.
So Doug, Liz is really sweet. I know her fairly well. She's really nice and sweet. She's not going to tell you what I would tell you. If your customer can't get the home sold in a reasonable period of time, is there any agent in here that might be able to help them? Maybe you aren't the right listing agent, Doug. Questions? Yes, Green. Are there any condition requirements on the house, Liz? Inspections, anything like that?
So we leave that completely up to the agent and client. We
I
get
wouldn't do that.
we do get a copy of the home inspection of the home. And if there's any big fire and safety things, we'll raise a red flag. As the agent should be raising a red flag to your client as well. But that is definitely, mostly left in the agent and client's hand unless there's a big red flag that comes up in the inspection.
Okay, yes, follow up. Fixer-uppers are not an option. Is that correct? You want a house in good condition?
Yeah, I say, again, it's case by case. I think it's subject to, okay, is it dated? That's fixer-uppers can mean, a couple of things. It can mean, oh, it's just, was built in 85 and there's, still original carpet but there's nothing structurally wrong with the home. That's one thing. If we're going to purchase that home for them to, win it, fix it up, do whatever they please to do with the home. Again, if there's structural integrity issues, fire safety issues, that kind of fixer-upper, it's been in a fire, there's been a flood, probably not going to become eligible.
So what you're experiencing right now is the difference, right? This is our program. This is us. And yeah, they're a partner, but this isn't knock and this isn't ribbon. This isn't some big corporate structure and there's a square hole and you've got to have a square peg to go into it. So we can ebb and flow with this a little bit. Okay?
Mhm.
Guggen.
So about contingency, what about due diligence? Is there a certain amount of days that we have to have?
Is there, do you have a due diligence requirement? On what, the house they're buying? Okay, I think that goes to they want to see the inspection so that they see that there's no like,
But so be evident one day.
Yeah, we're going to be informed on, there is due diligence, just basic due diligence for home inspection.
linear.
If we have a seller moving out of state, do they take advantage of the bridge program?
Yeah, you can, she said you can go across state lines with this.
I know moving.
You can only buy in Georgia. The former residents can be out of state.
Oh, okay. Is that what you meant? If they're
Yep, you
moving
can
out of
buy-
Georgia?
You can buy in Georgia if the former residents they're selling is out of state, that's fine. Also, again, we're friendly. If we, if they're wanting to buy out of state and there's a unique situation and you're just trying to make that client happy, present the opportunity and we'll see if we can make it work. But right now.
Some of that might be where First Community is licensed as well. Okay, so we'll have to
Exactly.
take that case by case. Okay, Liz, back to you.
Awesome. Well, we're going to dig into the process and how it's going to work for you guys. So you are going to start business as usual. You're going to get your clients pre-approved with who? Your First Community Mortgage LO. It's a very important piece of the puzzle. As Mike said, this only works with First Community Mortgage. So just like you always should, get them pre-approved while they're going through mortgage pre-approval. You're going to talk to your client about the Easy Buy program and help them understand the competitive advantages of it and get them started. We totally understand that not everyone needs Easy Buy. Not everyone needs that cash offer, but the process works best when you get all of your clients pre-funded and ready to write cash offers if and when they need it. So your First Community Mortgage LOs are going to say, hey, I'm going to pre-approve you for traditional. And I'm also, while I'm at it, going to go ahead and get you pre-approved and we're going to work on getting you pre-funded if and when you need Easy Buy. The reason we say it's best to do it this way is you guys know that pre-approval process takes a little bit of time. Your First Community Mortgage LO might be able to expedite it and get it done quickly, but it still takes time. There's requirements that your client needs to get to them. That's the part that what we don't need is the client goes, oh my gosh, home just landed in the hottest neighborhood in the school district that I want, and I know it's going to be a competitive offer situation. Dang, I wish I would have gotten pre-funded with Easy Buy. Shoot, I wish I would have just gotten pre-approved because I bet this thing's it got listed on Friday. There's open house tomorrow. It's not going to make it to Monday. We hear those type of stories all the time of like, oh, I should have just gotten a client pre-funded, because guess what? No money is due to Easy Buy for the program until they win the offer on their new home and go under contract. They can write cash offers all day and still not pay us anything. So there's no cost, no obligation to getting every single one of your clients pre-funded with Easy Buy. Once that client's pre-funded, you get to do the fun part of go shop with cash. Also, we're going to send the Easy Buy team, the personnel at Zavvy is going to send you guys an offer materials package. It's going to be chock full of that Easy Buy addendum, a contract template, proof of funds, mission statement, everything you need to make an offer. And then on closing day, that's when that on under contract day, apologies guys, on the day that client goes under contract on the home with their cash backed offer, that 2.5% earnest money deposit is due, minimum 2.5%, right? Basic inspections and due diligence that need to happen prior to closing. We're sitting in the wings. Easy Buy is here going, everything going good. We're communicating along the way. We have a very robust transaction team that's making sure everything's checking up. If for any reason that client is not able to close with their financing, we're going to jump in and go, yep, we got it cash on closing day. But the goal is to get that client to close with their financing so they can move in and enjoy their new home. They just leverage the power of that cash backed offer to win the home of their dreams. Bridge gets a little more complicated. It starts the exact same though. Again, get every client pre-funded with Easy Buy. The only difference though is we're definitely buying that new home to provide the convenience of the time so that former home can be sold before the client buys it back. There's some clients that, yes, 1.9% cost of the program, is maybe a stretch or they're in a tighter situation, but they still need to leverage this. They might want to actually list their home prior to them closing on their new home. Because remember, if they sell their former home before we close on their new home, it drops to 1%. It's just a cash offer deal. However, some people love convenience. Convenience is at a premium. Some people don't want to get the dog and kids out of the house to deal with showings and preps and repairs and getting lists ready. So they're going to list their former home after they've moved into their new home. As I mentioned, the goal is 60 days after closing, that former home's under contract. Basic due diligence is done, of course, before we buy their first home. But after they buy their home back from Easy Buy, that's when, on that closing day, they've given us the 7.5% earnest money deposit on the buyback contract. On closing day, 1.9% of that 7.5% EMD is allocated to Easy Buy. The remainder is allocated to the settlement statement, jumpstart on closing costs, down payment, whatever it may be. The deferred occupancy costs, which I have a cost breakdown that'll help paint this picture a lot more. The deferred occupancy costs, we collected 60 days. If they closed in 30, we're going to send back 30 days of deferred occupancy credit. Here's I'm a numbers person. I have my marketing team. We have a flyer we're going to share with you. That's an Easy Buy flyer that has this on it. So don't worry, it's not just in this presentation, but I love the numbers. Helps paint the picture of what's involved. So say that the max offer price for you guys, your clients pre-funded up to $750,000. Again, we don't pre-fund on a per property basis. We pre-fund based on that first community pre-approval amount. The highest competitive offer on that home is $725,000. Your client comes in with Easy Buy with some cash offer negotiating power and gets that home for 2% less, $710,500. They win, go under contract on the home, and that's when the 2.5% deposit as earnest money is paid out. It's the 2.5% EMD on the day we go under contract. So on closing day, they're bringing their minimum 5% down payment. So their mortgage loan amount becomes $674,975. And then out of that 2.5% EMD, the 1% service fee to use Easy Buy is allocated to Easy Buy. And then the remainder is contribution towards closing cost. Now bridge. Few more steps here. Same exact cost scenario. They've been pre-funded up to $750,000. They know that highest competitive offer $725,000. They're going in at 2% lower and winning. The day we go under contract on the new home, that buyback contract, because Easy Buy is buying their future home. The buyback contract where client buys the home back from Easy Buy is where that 7.5% deposit is due as earnest money, minimum 7.5%. Then prior to the day we close on their new home, we're going to say, hey, in this specific instance, your deferred occupancy cost for 60 days is $5,980. Then we close on the new home, 5% down payment, mortgage on, or then they close, not we close on the new home. They buy back their new home, 5% down payments due, mortgage loan amount, So there was a 7.5% EMD, 1.9% service fee. So they actually have $39,789 contribution to closing costs or down payment. The deferred occupancy costs, they sold that home, or they sold their former home and bought back their new home in 30 days. So we're going to issue half of that 60-day deferred occupancy costs back. So they're getting $2,990 back. All right, before I show you your platform, all things good, thumbs up.
Okay.
All right, so this is your Easy Solutions platform. This is where you access both Easy Buy and Easy Sell. So I'm going to give you a quick demo today. First and foremost, you will want to create an agent account. So I will create an account using my name. Your loan officers can also create an account, guys. So your first community loan officers, if you just want them to handle everything, they'll handle it for you. You don't have to come to the platform. You can go, can you actually submit that to the Easy Buy program for me? And they can do it too. That's what's awesome. If you both submit, no worries. We'll marry you together. We're friendly. That's the great thing. We make sure everyone's connected and all communication is transparent and everyone's kept together. So you create an account. Today, we're going to say, I just have a buyer. My client is a buyer. They don't have a home to sell. They've already sold it. They've been renting in my market for a little bit, and they found their neighborhood they want to buy. They're shopping, let's say, between $500,000 and $600,000. Click go. For the essence of time, I'm not going to go into the estimate tool. I'm going to say, I know they're ready to get pre-funded with Easy Buy, which is my cash offer program. They don't need a homeownership accelerator program that helps them rent to own. So I just need the Easy Buy. They're not selling. They're currently renting. So it's pulling in my agent information. We do need the client's information. Guys, we're your partner. We don't sell the client's information. We're all in this together. This is just building our file. When the submission comes in, the client's name is there because guess what? You guys are going to be such rock stars. We're going to have multiple clients under one agent and one LO. So that's why we get the client's information. So we know the specifics to that client, right?
So Liz, just to interrupt for a second. Our contract with them says that your customer's information will never be sold. It'll never be sold.
That's correct.
Liz, if it is, I'm going to sue the daylights out of you.
You can do that.
Okay.
You might already
Yes,
have.
I can.
You might already have Lane's direct line. Go for it. Lane,
Okay.
the founder of Zavvy is a broker owner himself. So I can promise you, our goal is to keep you guys in the center of the transaction. So it's going to ask just very basic information about the buyer. We know their max offer price is $600,000. Where are they shopping? They're shopping in Georgia. We'll say they're shopping in Cobb County. Again, it works anywhere in Georgia. If they've been pre-approved, awesome. If you give us a loan officer name that is not a First Community Mortgage LO, we're going to politely say, hey, agent, thanks for letting us know. We're going to need to connect you with a First Community Mortgage LO to get them pre-approved there. If not, no big deal. We'll connect them with the First Community Mortgage LO. What type of loan they're interested in. If you have no idea, guess what? You can tell us that. No big deal. And boom, just like that, Easy Buy team is getting that information, is going to contact you, the agent, not the client, to go through next steps. If you haven't, gotten them pre-approved, we're going to go, hey, notice they haven't been pre-approved. Are you working with the First Community Mortgage LO? Do you have a pre-existing relationship? We'll make sure that First Community Mortgage LO is on this deal. Then we're going to contact all parties and go, hey, First Community Mortgage LO, can you get us that basic conditional pre-approval so we can get this client pre-funded for Easy Buy? It's really that simple, guys. One thing I'd also like to add, you're not at it alone. We have 7-day-a-week support. If you're just like, I'm not sure, like you have one of those weird cases where you're like, I'm not sure if my client, if this is going to work. It's kind of a weird one. It doesn't fit into the generic use case. Give us a call. Or maybe you just forgot the cost of the program and you just want a quick remember before you go to your, networking event, or you are at an open house and a question pops up. 7 days a week, our team is here to answer your questions. The Easy Solutions team is here to answer questions about Easy Buy or Easy Sell. All right. What is our key takeaway, guys?
Cash is king. That's the first thing that came up.
I like it. You learned something today. That is what I want. So many people are like, oh, the power buyers had their heyday. It was when the market was crazy. There was always multiple offers on a home. I know from training agents like you guys, there's still multiple offers actually happening on homes, but there's also people using cash offers to save their clients money. It's your Swiss Army knife. So thank you for capturing the key takeaway. Your next steps, I hope you all have some clients in mind. I want you to submit them through your Easy Home Solutions platform, or take the easy route. Call that First Community Mortgage LO and say, I need to get this client pre-approved. Connect them, get them pre-approved, and then that LO will send it to Easy Buy and we'll get them pre-funded so you can start shopping with cash, with that Swiss Army knife, regardless of the situation. You're going to have a happy client at the end of the day. And that is all I have for you guys.
Liz, you're a sweetheart. Thank you so much for your time today. We appreciate you.
Thank you, guys. Have fun out there. Good luck. Bye.
We'll be tagging back to you real quick with like a million questions, okay?
I like it. We'll get them
All
in.
right.
Thanks,
Thank you.
guys. Bye-bye.